So, Forest win yet again against Spurs by 3-0. God, Spurs are crap. Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. And because there was 3 goals, we thought 3 panelists will do tonight. I just made that up. Not really.
OG goal.
Where is Rob? Is there anyone in the chat seen Rob? Where art thou, Rob? Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you check out the sponsors. OK Jerseys. Get your shirts for 15 quid. Use code FFTV for a further 8% off. Big up to Fred as well. He says, Dyche has convinced me the right man for the job, at least for the rest of the season. Sangare finally... The haters are silenced. Yeah, Ant has been silent.
Come on.
Last 24 hours. Big up to Wayne as well for the 27 months, you legend. And big up to Carmoon with the $5. He says, John Victor says hi. We'll be talking about my boy John Victor, man, and we'll see what the agendas are like. So, boys and girls and chat, 3-0. That has to be one of the easiest games we've played in recent memory. I don't know what you boys think. I don't know who wants to kick it off, but...
Go on, I'll start. Anne was there, but I'll just say a couple of things from what I viewed, because it's the first time actually in a while that I've managed to watch the whole game and not be interrupted. But it was... I think, well, so far it's been such a poor season that the benchmark really was that opening day victory against Brentford, and we haven't got anywhere close to it since until yesterday. I think yesterday eclipsed that. I think we were so comfortable yesterday. We could have scored much more. I think we actually took it easy on them, to be honest. But I will add some caution at the end of this. But let's talk about the good things, because there's lots of pros from yesterday. We had at least 3 men of the match performances from 3 of our top players. Jesus, without scoring, managed to lead that line and be every bit the number 9 that Ant said he wasn't. But I thought he was fantastic, and I'm sure Ant will come in and say a few good things about him. So I'm going to leave that bit to Ant. But you got to look at how impressive a performance was from other players in that team, and especially somebody who I think a lot of the fans have had agenda against him. And it's about time they came out and admitted that he is a player that we're going to miss over this next month, and that was Sangare. He was immense yesterday. Everything went through him. There's a saying that, water covers 70% of the earth. Rest of it's covered by Sangare, mate. He was everywhere yesterday. He was fantastic. That goal was just next level, and there's no better way to sign off for any tournament, But it made me think, there is an agenda against him. Has Sangare even got a song? He's been here.
No, except for me, I've got a bit of a one. I always start singing Sangare, whoa, Sangare, and then I've not made it with any of the words.
Okay, but you can start one off. But I think that says it all. He's up until Hutchinson, he was our top signing in terms of value. It's taken him a while to get in. It's been taking him a while for the fans to appreciate what kind of player he is. But yesterday was everything we wanted from him. Everything that I think us 3 especially have been saying about him. And I just would like some of the fans who admit when you're wrong, because we have to admit when we're wrong, because everything gets clipped. But guys in the chat, admit if you were wrong about Sangare, and are you going to miss him over this next month or so? Because that was a hell of a performance yesterday.
Well, if I play devil's advocate,
go on.
I would, let's pretend I don't like Sangare. Has he performed enough times like that for someone to admit that they were wrong?
I think it's consistent.
Yeah, because he's been playing well for quite a while now. Since a couple of months before the end of last season, I think he really started to come into his own, and he's been consistent since then. So I think so. People are expecting me to praise Jesus as, which I will do, after less games than Sangare. So,
But did you learn anything new?
I do really want to praise the midfield yesterday, because Anderson and Sangare absolutely dominated. It wasn't hard to dominate the Spurs midfield, but they did absolutely dominate them. And I think, like I said, I think we could have done a lot more. We had our chances. We had our chances early on. There was a great cross from Nico Williams from Milenkovic. He should have buried that, and that was midway through the first half. But when we came out with second half, it was nice to see that we came out with the same spirit, got the goals, and we continued at them. There's been a couple of games this season where we have managed to go and get that second and third goal, and it does make life so much easier as fans watching that. So that was another plus point from yesterday. Obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi's performance as well, but I'll leave something for Ant. The only word of caution I will add, and it's something Wolfie mentioned on one of his videos recently, and I think I kind of echoed in our last score, is this is another one of our top 6 performances. You know, we seem to play well against these big clubs. I'm more inclined to be worried when we're playing against Fulham in a week's time. Just over, it's Monday, isn't it? It's Monday.
Yeah, Monday. I'm petrified.
So we have got a nice break. But yeah, that is the only word of caution I would add. Great performance yesterday, the best of the season so far, without a doubt, in my opinion. But can we do that against Fulham on a Monday night? That's what I want to know. But Ant, over to you, bud.
Cheers, mate. Right. Well, first of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to a couple of guys I met, not the last match, the one before. Lewis and his young boy Teddy. Really nice to talk to him. And Teddy, who's only a young lad, ball knowledge is excellent. Excellent. He's going to be an expert when he gets older.
Is that good ball knowledge in comparison to you, or just normal football fans?
Well, obviously, in comparison to me, he'll be an expert.
It can't be that good then.
Yeah, right. I think the easiest way for me to sum that game up is after 70 minutes, I'm sitting there and I turned around to Dave, who was with me, and I said, this is actually easy. This game is actually easy. And some of the little triangles we were playing, the one that led up to the second goal, where they were playing, you know, the triangles and the passing movements, it was top notch. I mean, it was Barcelona prime. You know, it was really good. Spurs were poor. They were. I'm staggered at how shockingly bad they are. Of course, we made them look bad because we were so brilliant. You know, if we'd have played against them like we played against Everton, we probably would have struggled. So it's not just down to Tottenham being poor. It's also the excellent way that we played. And I will say something about Igor Jesus. But before I do, all these people that keep coming up and saying, I said, what he does is fantastic, but as a striker, I want to see him score more goals. However, I'm putting that to one side now. I'm putting that to one side because I just think he's brilliant. Okay. It's proven. When he came on against Utrecht, he looked like the man. You know what I mean? He stepped on the pitch and you thought, yeah, he's the man. And so he proved. And yesterday, I mean, this much vaunted defense of Romero and Van der Ven, supposedly the best in the world, you know, I've been told by Spurs fans, he didn't give them a minute. He just didn't give them a minute. They know they've been in a hard game, which is fantastic to see. Obviously, Hutchinson played well again. That's a bright spot for us. Hudson-Odoi, I said in the last goal that we had, he's coming back into form. He's coming back into, and he is coming back into form. He looks dangerous now. And with him on the left and Hutchinson on the right, if we play the right tactics, i.e. don't low block, then they're going to be a danger. They're always going to be a danger because both of them now just want to attack, want to go forward, want to get balls in, want to have shots. Fantastic to see. And with Jesus in the middle, it's looking good. The midfield, I thought Anderson had one of his quieter games yesterday.
Agreed.
Morgan Gibbs-White was okay. So it just shows you how good that Sangare performance was because we dominated midfield with really only one player being on top form. And my goodness me, he was on top form. What a shame that we're losing him. Let's hope Douglas Luiz can keep fit because we need him to keep fit now because we've got no Yates. We're down to bare bones in that part of the team. Hopefully Dominguez will come back. That'll be, I think he is. I think he was only a precaution that he was left out of the squad. So I think Dominguez will be back. So that obviously that helps to fill that gap. So it's not dire, but we don't want any more injuries in that department. And as for the defense, I mean, Murillo's just Murillo. I mean, my goodness me, that guy, you know what I mean? But to be honest, the defense coped so easily. I mean, Kudos, again, I kept hearing Spurs fans going on about his world-class player. He didn't nothing. He didn't get a
Joe
sniff.
Williams pocketed him.
Yeah. I think it was about 60 minutes before saying, "Oh, hang on, that's kudos, isn't it?" You know what I mean? It's like I didn't even notice him.
Xavi Simons was just so hilariously bad. It was funny, man. It really was.
Yeah.
Can I want to ask you guys.
We just dominated the game. It was from start to finish. We were never in trouble. They never had, something. I always say to myself, there'll be a period in the match where either we or the opposition will have a period. Yeah, it always happens, doesn't it? No matter how bad the side is, they always have a little. No, not Tottenham.
Yeah, it was
they
nothing.
didn't. And their goalkeeper, I hope they keep him forever. He's wonderful.
Andrew, I'm on at 8 with the football 12-man boys. There's so much I want to cover in this. It's going to be quite an analytical stream, guys. I got a lot of interesting questions for you and the guys on the panel. Frederick says with the 65, thank you. He says, when Satan gets old, he becomes religious. Ant has changed his mind about Jesus.
There's a couple of things about that. First of all, so you're calling me Satan. Not very nice. Secondly, I've never heard that when Satan gets old, he gets religious.
No, I've not heard that one.
And thirdly, Igor Jesus has got nothing to do with the Christian faith. I think he is Christian.
He is
being
Christian.
from that part of the world, but it's not the real Jesus, you know. You know that, don't you?
He walks on the Trent, and
I think he's making
he does walk on the Trent, actually. You're right there.
I think he's making a joke. Okay, look, this is what I want to ask you guys about. I've been crying and dreaming of a team at the City ground that is our team that presses. I thought yesterday we were pressing, and I want to chuck this one at you because you would have seen it like off the TV cameras and stuff. But did my eyes deceive me? Like, again, I'll go to Sangare. Sangare was like the highest pressed player at certain point. Look how he scored the goal. He was pressing the goalkeeper. Him and Gibbs White was actually pressing quite well as well. But in general, did you notice, or was I just dreaming it and maybe like it's not as good as this in my head? But I just thought that's the first time in forever since the Brentford game where we've pressed a team high up in their half. Or am I making that up?
The pressing it was so good to see. You know, I get so frustrated as a Forest fan sitting there in the Trent end, watching the opposition defence just pass it around calmly until they can find a space and then they move it forward. And I've always said, and it's not rocket science, you don't have to be a brilliant coach. If you put players under pressure, they're not so comfortable passing that ball. And the amount of times that you see defenders give the ball up when they're under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why we don't do it all the time. Whether Sean Dyche, we'll have a word about in a minute, whether Sean Dyche, I know we don't like this fitness aspect of it, but whether he's trying to get them fit enough to do that, I don't know. Maybe they haven't been at that fitness level to be able to do that. It's possible. But if they are, you know, if that's what he's doing, he's going to get him to press, then fantastic. More to it. Because it's so frustrating to watch a team just passing it around until they find a space.
You know, the problem with it, boys, is that pressing isn't a talent. It's hard work. I don't know if that makes sense. Like me, you, and Anne in the shape, maybe not in the shape we're in now, but I'm just saying we could be coached into pressing. Pressing is about energy. It's about doing it at the same time, and it's about covering channels.
It's about having that intelligence of knowing when to go and when not.
But it's not even. It doesn't even need. It doesn't come from the players. It comes from the coaching staff. Is my point.
Of course, right? It's a style of play, isn't it? But it only works against certain teams, and Spurs were trying to play it out from the back yesterday. But I wouldn't give all the credit to Sangare for this one. This is where I said Jesus led the line. Now, he was forcing them to press. He was forcing them. If you watch out goal, I think it was his first goal. He's flicked on the header. He's annoyed at Cho for not being further up, but we managed to get the ball, and he was demanding that they press. He did that several times when I caught on camera, that he was demanding the press. And he got everybody doing that. And I feel, obviously, he was being backed up by players like Sangare, but he was a catalyst. And that's why I felt he led the line yesterday brilliantly against a couple of decent centre halves. Like Anne said, something they're the best in the country, if not in the world. But they're not the worst. But he bullied them. It was an Argentine up against a Brazilian. He bullied Romero. Then he went over and he bullied Van der Vaart. And
Romero always beefs with any Brazilians in opposition.
Oh, absolutely. You got to expect that. And I don't know where Xavi Simons is from, but there was a lot of beef between him and Murillo as well. Murillo bullied him, and this is what you got to do with these fancy players sometimes. You got to just stick a foot in old school style. And Ant knows this. You give them a knock early on. They don't usually come back, And these fancy players, a lot of them are all, there's not much substance to them. They got bullied yesterday, and Kudus being amongst them as well. They were obviously missing some key players, but the way we played yesterday, and just to touch on your point, yes, you need organisation. It needs to come from the management team. It needs to come from your style of play, but you also have got to have the backup plays, because if you play like that from the start, you're knackered after 60 minutes. So you're going to have the players to make the changes as well if you're going to play that style of play. It's a high intensity play, high pressure, and we don't need to do against every team. But yesterday was perfect against Spurs. Spurs, who even when they were making mistakes, were still trying to play it out from the back. You've got to punish those kind of teams. And so it worked well yesterday. It's not going to work in every game. Some teams aren't going to play like that. They're not going to play out from the back, and they're going to hold on to the ball. So we've got to have different styles for different games, obviously, but it worked brilliantly yesterday. Let's hope that the next time we are up against the team, because we did against Liverpool at times as well. Because I think that's
your point, though, as you mentioned earlier, that we seem to play well against top 6 teams. Is that because we know how to play against top 6 teams, i.e. we don't have to break down a low block? Is that the reason?
Well, this is a frustration, and I think this is why I'm not 100% sold on Dyche yet, because I would have thought against a team like Everton a few weeks ago, but like he's always said, the least you've got to do is give it all on the pitch, and the players didn't. That wasn't a Dyche team playing against Everton that day. And how can you switch from that, where they barely bothered to turn up, to then you got performances like you do against Liverpool and like you did yesterday, when almost every single player was on key form. And just to touch back on Callum Hudson-Odoi and Hutchinson's performance, they were great going forward, but how good were they defensively? How quickly did they come back? Yeah, and cover those positions and make sure that literally they had no threat. I can't remember too many saves that. The only one I remember,
Sean Dyche, bro.
Yeah, Archie Gray.
Archie Gray.
And that came from Sangare, flicked off Sangare's foot, and it just landed perfect for him to swivel and hit. But we did defensively were brilliant yesterday. And this is why you can make somebody like John Victor look decent in goal when you've got a defense like that. So
he's had a clean sheet, mate.
But I think you got to praise their defensive work as well yesterday. Hudson-Odoi and Hutchinson, and I think Hutchinson got 90 minutes didn't he yesterday? I think that's his first full game. So that's even better. Like Ant says, for his progress.
Oh wait, didn't he get subbed off for No, that was Hudson.
No, that was Hudson-Odoi, wasn't it? And we've got 8 days. Like I say, the next game's not till Monday. We've got plenty of time. I'm just worried. I hope it gives it enough time for players like Luis to get some game time and get some more minutes. But I was just gutted that MG Dub didn't give him that free kick at the end, because he really wanted it. And brushed him.
You know what that is? I said, now we've got Nico Williams who can take a free kick. We've got Murillo who can take a free kick. Yeah. We've got Douglas Luiz who could take a free kick. I think Omari Hutchinson could take a free kick.
Yeah.
Not Menji, Dobby. Why are you giving it to him?
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted him to take it because the absolute cherry on the cake.
I know, but you knew it wasn't going to. Well, it went
sliding into their fan
got it on target, but
it was on target. For me, that was a goal. Yeah, and Kitty's right. Sangare can take a free kick as well.
Yeah,
but I want to stick on the attacking side of things. Something that I didn't mention in yesterday's watch along in the player ratings, and I wanted to touch on, and this has to go down as a massive credit to Dyche, is the amount of bodies that we're getting into the opposition box. Like in recent games, we've been having like 1, if we're lucky, 2, maybe the winger there, couple on the edge of the box. There was times in the game yesterday where I felt there was like 6, 7 in the box, 2 standing on the D, The centre-backs pushed up to the halfway line. The full-backs either tucked in or creating some width, really choking them in. Yeah. And then it was off the bat, boys, because if you look at Sangare's, that for me was probably my favourite moment of the match. I know it sounds weird, but Sangare's header that hits the post. Because that late run coming in, we haven't seen that since like championship days, man. Like that is what you want, the box crasher. And what I like is that he's almost played Anderson in the 6 and pushed Sangare into the 8.
This is what I was going to say.
Which he can do.
Yeah. When you were touching on Anderson's performance, he was defensively brilliant yesterday. Going forward, you know, you didn't see much from him, but it allowed Sangare a lot more freedom. And this is why a combination with Anderson and Luis is really exciting because he can release Luis to be a more attacking threat, and he can definitely pick a pass, and we know he can shoot from distance as well. So I'm hoping, you know, we're not going to miss Sangare purely because that two in the midfield is going to work. And yes, they got Dominguez to give him a bit of respite when it's necessary, but also I think MG Dub's going to have to mix up his play as well and be more of a number 8 at times, just to give us that extra body in there. Yesterday, he was effective without being his, you know, flamboyant self yesterday. There was a couple of times when he did play the more simple passes. Even that Ole session that we had, that was 30 passes. That was brilliant. And it got us
on for ages and ages as well.
Yeah,
didn't it?
And it got into, and it wasn't just passing for the sake of passing. We got into a really great position far up in their penalty area as a result of it. But it just showed the total control yesterday and just how bad they are. I mean, and you were a little bit worried because when we were giving our score predictions, you know, you said a draw, but you didn't actually expect us to get anything out of that game.
Didn't he say a loss?
You know, he said, he said a draw.
And then Sean said, "You sound like," I said,
"You mean the loss?"
He said, "You sound like something you don't want to."
You fell into Sean's trap, man. You fell into Sean's trap.
Listen, I do it with Man U. I do it with Liverpool. These teams that I hate, I'm always going to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to lose," in the hope that we win, and it's even better. But you know what? I'll tell you, there's something else as well that nobody's mentioned. Can you remember in 1985 we played a game against Anderlecht and the referee was
fresh on my memory when I wasn't even born. Yes,
yeah. That referee yesterday is the worst referee I've seen since then. That's the worst refereeing performance I've seen since then. Yeah, literally, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. Everything, free kicks, corners, goal kick, whatever it was, he gave it their way. It was shocking. We were there in shock. This can't be happening, we were thinking. You know, I mean, you heard the reception he got at half time, I assume. You know what I mean? That referee.
Right, he was on the take. I'm sorry.
He's looking into it. I said, I'm not exaggerating. That has got to be a money job. There's no way a referee could be that bad.
That one, no, it is. That one, did you see the one on the halfway line? I think was it just before half time?
There's so many bad decisions. Go on.
Yeah, there was this one. It was right under Dyche's nose on the halfway line. The ref was 2 yards from it. Someone in the chat will remember what it was. I lost my crap with it. I went into halftime angry.
The corner, wasn't there? There was the corner.
It wasn't the corner, bro. This was the worst one. I think it was Hutchinson he got his thigh taken out clean, right? He got flipped over. Ref doesn't give anything. It's right
what about when Ramiro just yanked Jesus down, and the crowd went mad, and the referee said, "Play on."
Was it Jesus?
Yeah, that was really
that was it. Was it at half time, Jay? It was around half time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
it was first half, yeah.
And you could tell
right under the dugout's nose, man.
There were so many. It did get to the point where you're thinking, this has got to be a pay job. It's got to be a money job. There's no way a referee can consistently give decisions like that. And then as soon as Forest had a little bit of a little semi-foul, out comes the bloody yellow card. You're thinking, what? Yeah. What? Our players have been cut in half the time and nothing said.
You could tell by the atmosphere at half time because, I mean, the fans wanted to applaud the players off because that was a really good first half. Obviously, we're going in 1-0 up as well. But Yeah, it must have been a decision close to the halftime whistle because he was absolutely booed off the pitch. But he was awful, and we've had so many bad referees that we're used to it. We're surprised if we get a decent one. I'll be happy with one that I don't have to talk about, and that's the best kind of referee. But we seem to be getting the worst.
What was his name? Does anyone know what his name was? The dickhead.
Sam Barrett. He sounds like
David. I do tend to agree with you. You know, I'm using hyperbole on this occasion. I don't normally say they're corrupt. I don't normally say there's money, but I'm using hyperbole on this occasion just to emphasize how incredibly poor that performance.
I disagree, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. Because if you're a crap referee, you're going to be crap for both teams. How can you suddenly only be crap for one team and not the other in the context of the same match? That's the bit that does my head in.
Me and a few guys around me were even contemplating. Do you think some refs, particularly this one, actually get off on being the bad guy?
Yeah, because they become the story.
Well, we know
they actually enjoy that attention that they're getting. That
they become the story, which raises their profile, which makes them think I'm Billy Big Bollocks. That kind of thing. That's what it is with some of these refs.
You can't rule anything out, can you? You know,
with the
show what can happen behind the scene.
Yeah, and look what he's turned out to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know, nobody would have suggested that David Coote, or nobody would have suggested, well, I bet the referees had a snort of cocaine at half time, but he was doing, you know, so, you know, anything can happen. Is there any human beings, supposedly?
Yeah. And then just go through the Anderlecht stuff for the younger viewers with what actually happened. This is legitimate corruption.
Yes.
We were in, I think it was the semi-finals. It might have been the quarterfinals, but we were a very, very, very good side at the time. I think it was the semi-finals. We beat Anderlecht 2-0 at home. In the away leg, we lost, but the referee gave them a penalty when it wasn't anyway remotely looking like a penalty. It was constantly giving free kicks and throw-ins the wrong way. And Paul Hart scored the winning goal in the last minute and disallowed it, and there was nothing wrong with it. Now, Cluffy came out straight after the match. This is the good old days when you could talk. Cluffy came out straight after the match saying that referee's been paid. All right. And of course, everybody's clutching the pearls and everything. A few years later, the guy gets killed in a car crash. Hallelujah. Right. And I mean that. The bastard deserved it. No, I can. He deserved it. He was an evil man.
Move on.
All right, we'll move on. If you think anyway, it was actually confirmed. They found all his banking stuff, and Anderlecht, the club themselves, admitted that they paid him. So it can happen.
And what's worse than that? Just to add on to
that, he said he was there, and it was less obvious than that guy yesterday. That was a shocker, mate.
Less obvious than him. No, but what makes it worse is that UEFA didn't take a look at it until like 92 or something, like in the early 90s. Is ridiculous.
Somebody was telling me yesterday, I can't verify this because I can't remember, but somebody was telling me yesterday that when it all came out, they promised a wild card for Forest in Europe, and it just never arrived. But I can't.
Yeah, no, that is true.
And in terms of when it came out, it meant basically the statute of limitations had gone, so we couldn't we couldn't get anything back on it. Yeah. We actually named
which I've always thought statute of limitations or anything is ridiculous. If you've done something bad, you've done something bad, you know.
Well, and it was the chairman who paid the bribe, and the stadium's named after him or something like that. Yeah, it's something crazy. Anyway, basically, yes, for statute of limitations, we couldn't do anything about it.
And this is what annoys me when you got the likes of Crystal Palace this summer saying, "Oh, look at Forest in bed with UEFA." Bro, they're the ones who didn't back us. And you're talking like what? We've suddenly in UEFA's graces now. Like, seriously. Anyway, but yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was a poor performance.
Well, what surprised me is a lot of Spurs fans were like, the Forest fans thought he was a bad ref. You get what I'm saying? Like, they weren't saying they thought he was a bad ref or biased towards it.
Says it all.
Well, yeah, that's up to them. That's up to them. I mean, I saw Tobes yesterday saying that we were lucky. The first goal was a lucky sort of, It was down to them, not to us.
Bozo
And
moment,
the second
yeah.
goal was a fluke. And I thought, man, don't you realise we totally outplayed you? It could have been 6. You know.
Yep.
I got a long message from Tobes yesterday, man. He was not happy with his team.
I mean, it's not like Wolves against Arsenal, where Arsenal were bloody lucky to win it because they didn't play well. We played well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was just, you know what? I enjoyed yesterday. Even though I didn't enjoy yesterday, I really enjoyed yesterday. You know, when you look back at it.
What do you mean you didn't enjoy yesterday?
Because I was crapping myself, bro. Until 3-0, I was still crapping myself, right? But I'm saying when I'm looking back at it now, I'm like, yeah, that's good performance. I even like the style of play, boys. And that brings me on. Let's talk about Dyche. Right. Yes. And guys, please take a second, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Big up to Wazza. He says best scene for a long time. We went back to basics. There was an element of that. We are literally going to cover that off now. Wazza, thanks for the £2.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that. That wasn't very basic. Some of the football we were playing yesterday wasn't basic, unless you mean pass the ball to your own players and stuff like that.
On the floor, man. On the floor, A to B.
Yeah,
A to B, overlap, overloads.
So shall we get into Dyche then? Because people know my opinion and they know your opinion and they know Ezra's on the fence opinion.
Yeah. Go on.
Right. I'm not going to get too overhyped. It was a brilliant performance yesterday. Well done to the manager. 10 out of 10, right? But I'm not going to get overhyped by one performance. Otherwise, you can go back to Everton and say, well, that was absolute, I'm trying not to swear, poo show. That was an absolute poo show against Everton. I censored myself. So which one is it? Which is the real Sean Dyche? Is it Everton or is it Spurs? Spurs did allow us to play. I'm taking nothing away from the performance, as I've already mentioned. Now, it was very interesting. I don't normally listen to Sean Dyche. I never normally listen to any manager because he'll just talk absolute garbage, right? So, but I decided to, because I was in such a good mood yesterday, I decided to listen to his post-match. And I've not heard this from him before, but he basically said, that's the kind of football I want to play. I've been accused of playing this negative football, but I've only ever had the players to do that. Now I've got such a talented squad, I can play the way I'd really like to play. Now, if that's true, bring it on, Sean. Bring it on. And I look forward to seeing it. And I will give him a period of time now to prove that to me. So let's see.
How many games, Anne? Because you gave Ange 10 games, something like that. I was like,
we have a flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind. Like they didn't say that last time. We have a flip-flop, trying to erase the past. Well, buddy, you're having a laugh.
I'm not trying to erase the past. I've already explained my reasoning. And anybody that doesn't, I'm not saying I've changed my mind, but anybody that doesn't change their mind when they receive new information that changes the state of play is an idiot. Right? You know, I know people that have been Arteta out, and it doesn't matter what the guy does. It doesn't matter what the guy does. All right? They won't change. They can't see. Anyway, that's another story. So I'm willing to give him till the next match, Ez.
Against Fulham.
I gave Ange 10 games. What a mistake that was. You know what I mean?
Did he get 10 games, mate?
I'm not doing that again. So he's got till the next game. If we play like this again the next game, he'll get more praise and a little bit more belief. Game after, and it will grow.
You got him on a rolling contract.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have? If we play against Fulham like we play against Everton, I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to give him more time. I'm going to say,
wait, hold on, because you literally are flip flopping here, Ant. This isn't new information. No, this isn't. You can't hide behind this new information line, right? I'm not having it. Because what? Okay, let's say Forest lose to Fulham. What's the new information you've taken on board that you didn't already know about Dyche?
No, if he plays a more progressive style of football with the quality of players we've got, if Douglas Luiz is fit and everything, you know, all the players are there, and we press them like we did Tottenham, and we try and we play along the wings and we get balls in, and the midfield moves up, and we have we have late runners coming into the box, all those kind of things. Then I'll say yes, he is trying. And if we lose 2-0, but we've played like that, I will say fair enough. They were better than us on the day, but we played the kind of football that I believe will help us going forward. If we go there and play like we did against Everton, then no, I'm not going to turn around and give him any grace at all. Why would I?
So,
is that fair?
No,
it's the worst flip flop ever. If you're going to flip flop,
why is it not fair?
Because you're flip flopping the flip. That's what you're doing here.
I'm basing my feelings towards his management ability on my.
Okay, let's say this, right? Let's say Forest play next week and Fulham don't turn up and Forest win with, I don't know, scumbaggy 1-0 goal. Are you dashing, or are you going to give him another game?
No, what I should say is I'm happy with the result, but I'm concerned about the performance because it's not sustainable. It's no good doing it for one game, mate. It's no good doing it for one game.
Yeah,
so why are you giving him one freaking zero contract? As Jeff said,
saying,
0 hours.
No, Ant came
because
into
then he can build on it. If he does well again next week, he'll get another game.
You were sold by what he said. You were sold by what he said in his post-match interview.
I didn't say I was sold, mate. I thought it was interesting.
No, sorry. Okay, right. That's not how you sold
it. That's a sale, man. I'm interested in buying.
That was your flip. But I would say,
listen, guys, hang on a sec. You two will be the same. If we poo the bed and play like we did against Everton and get beaten 3-0, you will be the same. Yo!
Antennae twitching in the air, pacing around the floor like he just don't care. Nottingham Forest let him down again. He's buzzing mad, can't pretend. Oh, he's stomping leaves, he's snapping twigs, mumbling words that don't quite fit. Where's the defense? Where's the pride? Who's steering the sinking ride? Crypto chirps so it pokes the flame, and spins round, you're the one to blame. Tension crackles like dry old wood. This won't end well, this can't be good. Forest stands on a ramp, climbing high, no descent, buzzing loud, you can't relent.
Forest.
What? I think Wolfie's got a new AI toy.
John introduced me to it, man. I've been playing around.
Has Sean been doing that? Or is that you?
No, that was me.
I actually feel quite honoured, you know.
Why is he brown? Why is he darker than me?
I couldn't find a white ant, man. Anyway. Hey, they're not that dead.
Stupid.
No, I can't even discuss any further what Ant's talking about because it just makes zero sense to me. It really
I don't understand why you find it difficult to understand. I'm not a Sean Dyche fan. However, the performance on Sunday gave me a lot of encouragement, and what he said afterwards did make some sort of sense. So I'm willing to give him a little bit of time to prove it.
He's in one game.
However, if we immediately go back to being totally defensive and absolute crap, then I'll know that that was the players and Tottenham and Dyche's fibber.
Okay, so what if we draw?
No, I'm not. The result is obviously it's important, obviously, but it's not germane to the way I will feel about our progress as a club under Dyche. Yeah, it's the way we perform. It's not even necessarily the way that we perform. Not everybody's got to be 10 out of 10, but it's the way that tactically how we approach the game.
Okay, let's move on from Anne. Ez, what you saying?
What, on Dyche? I said, where I will give him praise is for the task that he's had to come into as a third manager of a season. 12 games into the season where we've absolutely been atrocious. And I think our fitness was lacking. I don't know what Nuno did with that preseason, but it was all stop-start. He wasn't happy all the way through because he wasn't getting the players in when he wanted to. But that was to do with we didn't know which European competition we were going to be in. And as soon as we did know, then, the wallet opened and players started coming in. But Nuno wasn't happy about that. That disrupted his preseason, which obviously then had a knock-on effect into the season. And for Dyche to get seemingly the best performance out of him so far this season with the conditions he's had to come into, that's where I'm praising him, because that's no easy task to try and get the players match ready, to get them to the fitness levels that he says that he needs. Every manager's going to want different style of fitness, but he said for the fitness level that we want, they weren't there, and we had to get them there, and he has done that. And yes, there's been some casualties along the way. Yates, as an example, somebody who doesn't get injured very often, but hopefully the players are taking on board. That's the most important thing. Doesn't matter what we think, really. It's more important what the players on the pitch think of what he's saying. If they're believing in him and they are doing what they're being asked to do, then you see it in yesterday's performance. And I hope that is how he wants to play, because a high pressing style of football is what we've been asking for. Midfield domination is what we've been asking for. We know we've got one of the best defenses in the league on the day. So we just needed that middle and top third of field for the players to start doing what we know they're capable of. And we have got talent. He's absolutely right. We've got very, very talented squad. And that's what I've said. If he can't do something with the most talented squad he's probably ever had, then this will be his only chance. This is golden chance. And I wasn't joking like it was a Game of Thrones reference, that he's been hanging around the City ground until this chance comes. This is his be all and end all. He'll probably never get the England job. This is probably the biggest managerial job he'll have in his career, and he's got to make.
He must be the first person to ever link Dyche with the England job in the history.
You never know if he does well. You never know if he might want him, but. A different style of football is what we haven't seen from him throughout his career, but he's never had this group of players or this talented bunch of players. Let's hope he can get the best out of them. And I think he can. They seem to be taking on board what he said, because the players came off playing with a smile on their face. Sangare's smile when he scored that goal, that was a brilliant celebration. It was immense. Yeah, it was an immense celebration, and that smile on his face was. I've been begging to see that, because people have said. I mean, we talk about Dawa Scotsman. I've never heard of a Dawa Nigerian. Oh no, sorry, Ivorian. Côte d'Ivoire. But he didn't, for a long time, he didn't play with a smile on his face, Same with players like Hutchinson as well. Hutchinson's coming into his own, he's being trusted. And obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi is just getting better and better. And yesterday was as good a full performance I've seen from him. We've seen flashes from him. Obviously, he scored a goal against Liverpool. He scored a goal against Man City. But we haven't seen full performances like that from him yet, like he did yesterday. And to have that threat from both sides is brilliant. So that's the type of thing that obviously Dyche has instilled in them. If he can continue that and the players do stay on board, now there's competition. I think there's real competition now. I don't know how Odoi gets back into this squad, thankfully. Into his starting lineup, but he gave him a few minutes yesterday. It's nice to see.
I didn't know he came on. The chat had to tell me.
Yeah, I mean, Hudson-Odoi, didn't he? Because Hudson-Odoi.
He touched the ball.
I think it might be. I think it might benefit Ndoye a lot, just coming on for the last 20 minutes and not being the main man and not.
He came on like the 92nd minute or something.
Yeah, it was really late. Yeah, it was really late.
Yeah, it was. But you know what I'm saying? I think that might be the way forward for him to get, because I'm hoping that he's not as bad a player as he's appeared to be recently. And look, people, as we've already said, were having a go at Sangare because he was having some lackluster performance. It's taken Sangare 2.5 blooming years to get into this vein of form. So, maybe we should cut him a little slack. I mean, I'm not saying for definite it's going to come good, but maybe he will, I
sent a message to the club saying, can you blag an injury for Sangare and not send him?
You know what? I said to Dave yesterday after about 80 minutes, is it bad of me? But I'm kind of wanting Sangare to go over on his ankle, just enough for a week out or 2 weeks out.
Stub his toe like on Football Manager or something. All right, you want to know my stance on Dyche?
Go on.
Hasn't changed. I'll still get rid in the summer. Give me my
No, nobody's suggesting anything else yet.
No, we'll have to add some provisos to this. Okay, so right, okay. Let me add some provisos to this. We win the Europa Cup, and we finish in the top 8. You still sacking him?
Yep.
Are you?
I think with me, it's again, I go back to the same old thing. It's how we play the football.
Of course.
If we play like we played on Sunday, and we're reasonably successful, and like you say, I don't think anybody could complain about Dyche if we played like that for the rest of the season.
If we played like that against the other 14 teams every game, win,
exactly.
lose, or draw.
So you can't actually say,
bro, he overtakes Frank Clark for me.
But it's a lot. It's a lot to expect. What we want.
I just don't think. I'll tell you. Look, kind of.
So okay, let me flip it a bit, Wolfie. On you. Okay, in what situation does he not get sacked then? What does he have to do not to get sacked at the end of his season for you?
Resign. That way he wouldn't have been sacked.
Sorry, I should have bleeped me there, man.
Now, here's the thing, right? I do like poking the chat, and I can see them reacting. I've got to say this. The thing that's annoyed me after that game is the players. And let me explain. These players should have been performing like they did yesterday under Dyche, under Nuno, and under Ange. This whole freaking prima donna routine of, I can't breathe, or whatever else they were saying because maybe they didn't like Ange or they were worried about what was going on with Nuno. We're paying their damn wages, man. That's what's annoyed me the most. That we've talked about it on this panel so many times. That performance yesterday should not be getting us giddy or excited, because that should be the baseline standard of this team, because that's the quality of the squad. And
that's what I'm saying, Wolfie. If it continues like this, then yes, it's real. If we go
but
back
I'm taking Dyche out of the equation here, and I'm saying these players have not held enough smoke this season, because we've been discussing Ange in, Ange out. Is Nuno right? Is Edu right? Is Dyche the right man? Is he not the right man? These players have been getting away with murder, and then we're praising them now for the performance they put in yesterday. Yet I think we should be holding them accountable for where the hell have they been for the last 5 months? Because that performance at Brentford and this, in between that, has been utter crap, with the odd sprinkle of a Liverpool here.
I've said to you on many occasions, when I've sat here, and I've sat here in the last few months, and people have been saying it's the player. No, it's the manager. It's the manager. Otherwise you wouldn't have good managers and bad managers. And these players, they played under Nuno at the beginning of the season, whose football was awful. Okay, didn't suit us. After the Brentford game, losing at home to West Ham 3-0, there's something wrong. And I don't believe it's entirely down to, I don't believe it's down to the players. I believe it's down to the attitude, the way you're playing the game. Then we had Ange, who was a total, waste of time, as we'll, I think, agree. There's no way those players were ever going to play well under Ange. Same as Tottenham didn't play under Ange. I mean, they didn't play under anybody else, fair enough, but you know what I'm saying. And then Sean Dyche has come in, and he was the one that set them up like that against Everton. He was the one that told them where to play. He was the one that told them how to play. So, and players are human beings. Maybe some of them were pissed off at what they were being told to do. Now, we can all sit here and say they're getting 100 grand a week, they should do exactly what they're told. But they're still human beings. And if you're like a ball dribbler that wants to go up the pitch and create, and you're being told to sit in front of the defence, you're not going to be happy, and your performance is not going to be as good. That's why often there's a little bit of an upturn when a new manager comes in, because the players are relieved they're not going to have to play that way anymore. And I think that that's been the case with a lot of these players. Don't forget, a lot of them are foreign players. They've not got that sort of English sort of, they'll get stuck in no matter what, if that still exists. They probably come here with expectations of playing a certain way.
But would you agree they've been getting a free ride this season? Because we've been so caught up. I'm not saying we, I'm talking the fan base. We've been so caught up in managerial circuses.
I don't know, because
you gave them a free pass. Literally quoting you, you gave them a free pass under Ange.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
So they are getting away with murder then.
Well, no, because there's a reason they were playing badly. They were playing badly because we were put into the wrong position, playing appalling football, negative football they didn't want to play.
Does that excuse them not going out on the pitch and freaking scoring an own goal against Burnley because you can't clear it from 2 yards on the line? That's Andrew's fault, is it?
Mistake. That's a mistake, isn't it? I mean, I don't think he thought, I'm not happy with this, I'll kick it in. I mean, it is a very look. This is an age-old sort of discussion about, you know, how much is it down to the manager and how much is it down to the players. Of course, it's everybody. Of course, it is.
But so, you see my point. My point is,
you're right. The only excuse I give them is that they weren't being played the way they should have been played. And yesterday, I think, was an example of the players having freedom and enjoying it. They were loving it. As you see, Callum Hutchinson after the match, he could hardly keep a smile off his face. What a game that was.
We know why that is. No, sorry. But let me just say, yeah, but there is something in that. Obviously, the players, you can't say that. I know in my career, I've had managers that I don't get on with. I just still do
football, mate. It's football. These guys have been treated like gods since they were 7 years old.
Yes, we're still human beings, and the emotions are still the same. Your emotions aren't different because you're a footballer and you're a common man. Your emotions
the expectations are, though, Ez.
The expectations are from the outside, though, aren't they? They're not from always from the inside. But let me just finish my point.
No, you're right. Players like Roy Keane, Stuart Pearce, Elliot Anderson, I think they will put their heart and soul in no matter what.
Exactly. It's not going to matter.
I did remember Pearcey once saying, there were times when I was more up for games than others, but once I was out on the pitch, that's when it changed.
I'm not talking about the individuals and how they feel. I'm talking about the collective. And all we saw in terms of the Ange period was really what was on the pitch. He didn't have much time in between games in terms of training and all that sort of stuff. So there's going to be a lot that's not passed on to the players. And you could see, and that's perhaps why MG Dub was a spokesperson when that came out with that "I'm able to breathe" comment. There was obviously disharmony behind the scenes. The players weren't sold by Ange's vision and obviously weren't sold by his training tactics or anything else either. And you could see but that was my annoyance because I was like, these same players will perform under Dyche. They will. But they're not going to get the blame for it. So yeah, they do deserve an element of it because at the end of the day, I'm not playing devil's advocate, but yes, they have got expectation on them because there's tens of thousands of people watching them week in, week out who are paying a lot of money to go and see that, and they've got to understand that's their responsibility to go out on that pitch and give it everything. And when they don't do that, they let us down, and so that's when they got to have a look at themselves. You can't blame anyone.
Don't misunderstand me, Ez. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these are footballers. They're human beings. They've been mollycoddled since young teenage years, most of them. They're extremely wealthy. But I agree 100%. They should go out and give 100% every time they go on that pitch because, like you say, for the fans, for themselves, everything, right? I agree. And there's nothing pisses football fans off more than thinking of players being lazy. Yeah, I think we agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is that's what they should be like, but it's not but they're not like that.
Yeah, and because I agree.
They're bad. I mean, look at who was it? Look at Mo Salah, one of the greatest Premier League players of all time. Took his toys out of the pram because he got dropped. Look at Isak. You know, these are Mo Salah $450 a week, and he's chucking his toys out of the pram because he got dropped, and he was playing badly, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you an insight into the mentality of these guys. They're babies.
You're right. You're right, but there are times where. What am I trying to say here? I'm not even like saying this in a bad way. I'm saying this is the level of the squad. Yesterday is our baseline, not our ceiling, is the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, because Spurs are crap. Right? That's just light work yesterday. I want to see that when we're away at Everton. I want to see that next week when we're away at Fulham.
That's what I'm saying.
Fulham are going to lose. So Fulham are losing, I think, 3 first-team players to AFCON. We're
How
losing
many are
one.
we actually losing apart from Sangare?
We got two. Bolly as well.
Bolly.
Einar's not
Yeah,
going.
but you don't really count. I mean,
Yeah,
with all due
exactly.
respect, we can't. So we're so much better off this year than in previous years when it comes to our
remember it was 8, I think, or something like that.
We had the most anyway.
Graham, Spurs are not a good team, bro. Spurs are not a good team. They're not a good club.
Hang on a sec. Before yesterday, they had the best away record in the Premier League.
That's bollocks. They weren't. They did not have the best away record before yesterday.
Everybody's telling me that they did.
Yeah, but Spurs fans don't update their data unless it suits their narrative.
But they were we were the first club for them not to score away from home this season. So that's that clean sheet yesterday. They've scored in every away game.
Have they lost away from homes before yesterday?
Yeah, they lost to Arsenal.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Just as an Arsenal, then we'll settle for that.
Do you two have your own YouTube channel?
Yes, no.
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, but all I put on is GOR. I've got a couple of playlists. One is I think some music, and one is just GOR. So it's not very exciting.
Also, he used to put on his vlogs, but I think he's
all the
still on our promotion season when it comes to editing. So you may have to wait a while to see his Forest Spurs vlog from yesterday.
No, there are a lot of vlogs on there from back in the day.
What about you, Ez? What are you running? Are you running any side hustles?
I might have to start again in the new year, mate. But I was thinking of starting off the fragrance channel again because I've got a little bit of a crew at work. Everyone's into fragrances, so I might start that up again and do some. You might see me in the city centre, like getting people to test fragrances and stuff like that. But watch your space. I'll obviously let you guys know on this channel if I
go for it, Edge. Go for it,
Danny. I hope that answers it. Big up to Curtis with the £2. He says, I disagree. That was closer to our ceiling, Spurs. I disagree with you disagreeing, Curtis, because I'll tell you why, Curtis, because we haven't even used the depth of the squad. We haven't seen Bakwa. We haven't seen Douglas Luiz fully fit. We haven't seen Callum Mwendo get a string of games and things like that. We are nowhere near our team. Einar's not back in the team. Chris Wood isn't fit. We're nowhere near our ceiling.
Yeah, Curtis, do you not see what's going up another couple of levels?
Ola Einar's coming back, and he will make a difference because he is fantastic.
People got to remember.
Let's not forget just how good he was.
Yeah, he's better than Savannah. And let's not forget 70% of you in the chat voted that you'd start Savona. I've still got the screenshot of that, even if Einar was fit. And
over Einar fully fit?
You said you'd start Savona as well, Ant.
No, over Einar, never. I would never would I say that. I challenge you to find a clip of me saying that.
Bro, it was after.
Just to make it interesting. If you don't, you give me 100 quid.
Yeah, gambling's haram, mate. I don't gamble.
Oh, no gambling. I'm not gambling. I know. I worship the ground that Einar walks on.
I was thinking this, Matt. I was thinking this. Who's really geeky? You know what? Chock is usually really good at this. We did a poll after Savona Bowl. When did he score? Chat, who did he score against? Was it Man U?
Yes, he did score against Man U.
Yeah. After that, I did a poll and I said, if Ola Einar is fit tomorrow, would you start him? And 70% of the chat said they would go Savona over Einar, because Savona deserves it. You know, the classic deserves it line that sentimental chat does.
And I said, Brian Clough, Peter Shilton was out injured and Chris Wood came in. He actually played in the League Cup final, right? And somebody said to him, when Shilton's fit, does he come back in? He says, yes. He says, he comes straight back in.
Yeah, but you're talking about somebody else and you weren't talking about Einar.
Yeah, and so I said, that's my philosophy. You
said despite that being your. Do you know what? If someone is geeky enough to fight, I'm pretty sure it's the GOR after the Man U game. Please clip it. Please clip it. And yeah, no, Curtis, that is true. He was crap before he got injured, but maybe that's why he got injured.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember a lot of things in your old age.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember much at all.
But by the way, I like Savona. But my point is in relation to what Curtis said here. This is not our ceiling. This is nowhere near our ceiling. That's
to be fair to Curtis, I understand what he's saying. That's as well as we've seen us play. this season, I would suggest. So yes, I can understand that at the moment that's as good as it gets. And I'm really sorry because I hate to do this, but you do have to take into account the opposition. Spurs were really poor. I mean, we played brilliantly, but play like let's see how we go against Man City. Let that be a little litmus test for us.
But also, to say it's our ceiling means we can't go any higher, and I believe we can go a couple of levels higher,
too.
Especially when we get those players back. When Sangari's back, when Aina's had a month's football, and he's fully fit. When Luis is steady and in the team, and Jesus is banging a couple more goals, and Cali Moendo's picking up a couple of goals when he comes on as a sub. When that
backward sparkling down that wing.
And Bakwa comes in, and gives Hutchinson some competition, and plays in Europe and all that sort of stuff. When that happens, that's another level we go up. So, again, Curtis, you wasted $2, bro. That's not our
All right, well, I'm putting the poll in the chat.
It's not a waste. Don't discourage him. It's not a waste.
It's a waste. Yeah. No, he wastes more when I...
It's a good point of discussion.
No. Let me slag him off. You'll put some more on you.
Is like Curtis' ego getting big that we're talking about super chat.
He loves it.
Hey, listen, I've put the poll in the chat and I've changed it. I'm not talking about Savona or Aina. I'm talking now Jesus or Chris Wood. They're both fit tomorrow.
Flip flop as well.
Who are you starting?
I know which way this is going.
Are you asking me?
Poor old Chris Wood. He scored over 20 goals last season. Everybody's just binned him off now.
I know, but Chris, I'm going to echo something that Rob says. Chris Wood without Elanga is probably not the same Chris Wood. So I've seen how Jesus...
He's got Hutchinson now.
Hey?
He's got Hutchinson now.
Yeah, well, he has got Hutchinson, but I also think that I've seen Hutchinson link with Igor Jesus. Haven't seen him link with Wood. So I'm going to go with... a recency bias, and I'm going to stick with Jesus.
I've already voted for Jesus. I'm the first one to vote.
Can't you just go against it?
Hold on.
For the sake of content.
Hold on, Mr. Flip Flop.
Who? Me?
Hold on. Who do you think scores more goals in the Premier League, Jesus or Chris Wood in a season?
Chris Wood.
So why have you gone Jesus?
Because I appreciate what he does by bringing the rest of the attack into play. I think he does a lot.
But you've been saying all season your number 9 needs to be a gunman, man, a bagsman.
I do believe. Listen, if he doesn't score again for the rest of the season, I will change my mind, and that's quite that is quite reasonable.
We have a flip flop. Everyone change.
It's reasonable if your number 9 doesn't score a single goal. It's reasonable to kind of
okay. Thank you for walking into my trap.
Go on, I knew he was going to do this. Go on.
Is Gyökeres shit?
I'd like him at Forest.
That's not what
I don't think he suits Arsenal at all.
That's not what I asked you.
No, he's not shit. How can he be shit? The guy scored 100 goals in the last 2 seasons. How can he be shit? I know it's a Farmers League and all. He's done it in the Champions League as well. He scored a hat-trick against Man City.
Well, are you not the person who said that there's bare teams in the Champions League that you don't even rate at all?
Yeah, of course there are. Yeah. But Man City aren't one of them.
Is he flip-flopping again?
I know. No, Man City aren't one of them. Come on, play the game. Be fair.
Man City got a hat-trick. What Man City got to do?
Not many players. Name me another player who's got a hat-trick against Man City.
Chris Woods.
You know what? You know the bad thing, don't you? That this is gonna stick. This crap is, and no matter what I say now, it'll be flip flop. Yeah.
I hope so. Chat. Now that he said that, please make sure it sticks. Anything he says that even whips of a sandal. All right.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Come on, Wolfie. The current Forest squad and Dyche have got everyone's head spinning. Yeah,
what does that mean?
David Moyes.
What do you mean by that?
Even David Moyes. I don't know. Just out of interest, 91% of you would start Jesus. 9%.
Right, so where are the flip floppers now then? Because they weren't saying that earlier.
No, they weren't.
I think what I like this flip flop TV. That's very good. Here's what I think we can summarize in conclusion, boys. At the end of the day, I'm always right. Have you noticed that?
No, it's funny because the three of us on this panel, two of us disagree with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes you wrong.
Vehemently disagree with it.
Yeah, 60% of the time you're always right, isn't it? Isn't that your saying?
I'm putting that to 100% of the time. I'm always right.
Yeah. What was that daft comment you made about Anderson at the end of a stream yesterday of player ratings? That if he plays rubbish in every game, Forest, it didn't make sense, bro. You had no context.
Bro, you didn't listen. You didn't.
You didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
No, you just didn't concentrate.
And you repeated yourself as well.
I said Anderson was one of the worst performers yesterday, and he was still good. I then said, if Anderson is always the worst performer and still plays good, Forest will win the league.
Plays good though.
I didn't think I need to spoon feed you what I was saying.
You did, because that's all I caught.
How does that not? Chat, did that make sense to you? Did that make sense to you?
What was that secret of mine that you released yesterday? What, the Chris Commons comment? He's not a Judas. Watch the video. He's not a Judas. He wasn't
just because he tells you he's not a Judas, huh?
If you listen to the context,
Judas, he played for Dortmund.
Thank you. Chat, is Chris coming his pants a Judas or not?
How we ended up at Derby was totally Forest's fault. Totally Forest's fault. And
did he end up at Derby?
They should be ashamed of themselves what they did to him.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you. I appreciate it, Kev.
Well, we obviously haven't read the context.
Tell you
bro,
what,
you're just some fanboy of him.
And there's three of us on this panel, and two of them think he's a Judas. So sorry, Ez.
Yeah, but you don't know the context. In fact, I'll tell you the context.
And the person who's always right thinks it's Judas, so it doesn't matter.
I think my response was, I don't give a toss. He went to Derby.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, then you kind of listened to what I said, because you wouldn't have said that.
I did. I did listen.
So what was it? What was the reason?
I can't remember.
Don't talk shit, bro.
All right, go on then. I'm going to put a quick poll here. Plead your case.
Anyway, I'll change my mind tomorrow. So.
Is he Judas?
Okay, the reason why it happened. Okay, right. So I don't know if because it's personal shit. No, I'll say it off air, guys. It's because it's personal shit. But he did say it himself.
You said he's done it himself.
He did say it himself.
He said did he say it to you? Did he say it to you?
He said it on the pod to what was his name? Robin Chipperfield, who used to do.
But how the hell was that personal, man? If he's aired it in a public space,
no, but it is personal because it was about you know.
To be fair, if he's put it out into the public, was it to do with his child?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
Let's move on because it's a bit sensitive.
That's what I mean. That's why I didn't just come out and say it.
Yeah, but he's still Judas, bro.
No, you wouldn't have said that, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, where did we get to?
Judas.
Speaking of Judas, Pat, how bad was he? How bad was he yesterday against Nico Williams? How good was Nico Williams?
Oh, I tell you, not a Judas, by the way. Jed Spence, man. I love Jed Spence. Did you notice? Obviously, he got a great round of applause from the Forest fans.
When he went off as well, yeah.
He milked it, and Benton Court barged him off because he was taking too long to get off the pitch. They were 2-0 down at the time, and he's milking the applause.
He beefed up with Frank. He beefed up with Frank.
Say again?
He beefed up with Frank when he went onto the bench. He gave him like some dagger.
Well, he was saying he didn't want to be taken off, and I don't understand why. He was probably one of the.
Why is he got a star?
There were little glimpses yesterday, and yeah, they were looked really good. He went past 2 or 3 players, but there again, Hutchinson tore him a new one. So you know,
does anyone know why he has the star? He didn't have that on Forest, man. That little sticker.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I didn't know. It's a little blue. Was it a blue sticker?
No, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it from 50 yards away.
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen him close enough to clock it, but they zoomed in on him. He's got a star, and then I looked at a thumbnail yesterday. It was on the thumbnail. He's got this blue star there. Does anyone know why he's got that?
You mean a tattoo?
No, it's like a little, little kid sticker that you give him a star for doing well.
Has he still got his hand bandaged up that he's had for 4 years? Talk about an affectation. There's no way he needs that bandage there. Yeah.
Guy, man, my guy. You know what? I'd take him back. I wouldn't start him, but I'd take him.
I'd take him back. He'll have to earn his place. I mean, he's not even a regular at Spurs,
but he's a utility player. You know, he can play left or right. You know, I'd rather have him as backup than Zinchenko. So
yeah, I would. Yeah,
Wait, Owen, are you? No, there's no way Owen knows this.
It's a Gen Z thing for pimples.
No, he's chatting.
What, you've got a star on every pimple you've got.
Oh, no way.
Is it?
Rich is saying it is.
Well,
I need one more verification of that.
But what is it? Is it a fashion statement? Or
Look, all right, and you go to the FFTV homepage. Go to the FFTV homepage on YouTube.
What?
Go to youtube.com at FFTV.
Ooh.
You idiot.
Why?
So you can see it.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't see, not yet, but I might see in a minute. Yeah, but is it fashion statement or is it treatment? That's
oh my God, even Nicky knows this. Wait, Matt, how do I not know? What? So you're telling me Spencer's got a spot on his face and he has to put a big sticker thing on it?
So what am I looking at on this homepage?
Just look at the thumbnail. Can you see under his right eye, left as you're looking, there's like a star.
I can't see the thumbnail.
I can't even see the page.
Oh, forget it, man.
Forget it, bro. You're talking to.
Why don't you just look for
Put your glasses on, you idiot?
Hey?
You're talking to Gen X about Gen Z. What generation are we? I mean, what generation is Ant? I don't know.
I'm Gen Z, mate.
I'm a boomer, I reckon. I'm just after a boomer.
I don't know.
What comes after a boomer? I think it's Gen X, is it? Or is
You're
that...
Gen A, aren't you?
No. I think it's Gen X. Generation X.
Generation X. Wait, no. Wait, how come my kids aren't doing this then?
Must be a thing. Yeah.
How come my kids aren't doing this?
That's because, you know, we were raised.
Which eye is it under? Which eye is it under?
His right eye, left as you're looking. All right, you know what? I'm going to let him.
It's not on any of his other pictures I'm looking at.
All right, it's on that thumbnail. Anyway, all right.
Ant can't be in the same group as me and you, bro. There's like 20
Well, I'm Gen Z. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not 20 years, actually, Ed.
Shut up, Ant. It is.
It's 30. It's 30. Anyway.
No, it's less than 20.
Anyway, Forest won by 3-0. I'm about to go and cook Deji over on Football's 12th Man. So.
Oh, again, you've already done it to him.
I know, man. Bro, they're all hiding.
Deji, you've had Deji.
I've had them, man, but you know what? I'm going in for seconds. So, pause. So, you guys did hear.
I've never seen Deji as quiet as he was last night.
Bro, he was not shameless.
Ant is generation BC.
Why do people always pick on my
Yo, Steph, you're a legend.
I'm seriously, I'm interested to know, why do people always pick on my age?
Because you're old.
Because we're ageist. Because we're ageist.
Yo, if that doesn't get the lights up, I don't know.
I'm not old. I'm wise.
Man,
I'm not old.
You tell us about things that none of us saw, you know, and you go on about it.
Mate, you literally name us the first team from 1865, man.
No, that's 1967. Peter Grumman, Peter Heinrich.
There you go. All right, so jump across over to Football 12 Man. This is going to send you over to
left back.
Shut up! Right, tomorrow morning I will have the Spurs video where I laugh at the Spurs content creators. I've purposely not watched it because I want to do the reaction live, so make sure you tune in for that. Please hit the like button. You know? Subscribe,
You're on one of the reactions. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched.
Yeah, they've got the reactions from Forest fans, i.e., you, and Spurs fans.
Ooh,
I'll send you the link.
I've made it. Right, I'm late. I'll see you over on the 12th Man, or you can go and Trollcast. It's up to you. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
You Reds.